Just quick question. And I'm still hearing about how USC and the Big Ten is going to be really tough for USC, the ground and pound game, and all this. My question is because I truly believe, and you guys should too. Deion Lynn, Eric Henderson, these guys are pros. They're not going to let these teams run all over USC. Even on a bad game, they're going to get 3 and outs. These guys know what they're doing. Like, I don't know how people are just missing that, but they know exactly what's going to happen. They know how to stop these guys. But my thing is, so everyone's complaining about, everyone's talking about how USC going to handle the run. These teams run the ball a lot. So if USC is going down, because I don't believe none of these defenses can handle Lincoln Riley's offense. Maybe Penn State, maybe Wisconsin, because Luke Fickell comes from a defensive background in Michigan, because they play defense. But these other teams, if USC is putting up points, say it's 21 nothing in the first quarter, are those teams that are they still going to be running the ball? Even for example, Penn State, you go up 21 nothing on Penn State, are they running the ball? They're going to keep running the ball, or are they going to start passing? And that's where I think USC is going to be able to take control, because their quarterbacks in the Big Ten are very bad, and average at best. But I don't know. I don't understand the logic of people not realizing if USC is scoring a lot and their defense is up to par, these teams are going to be able to just run the ball all day. They're going to have to start throwing the ball. What are you guys' opinion on that?
I liked especially when you said Penn State. I thought you were going to talk about that Penn State Rose Bowl where USC just jumped all over them in that 2008 Rose Bowl, and it's kind of hard to play catch. Now, I'm not saying we have the 2008 defense. That helps you to get out to those big leads, is to have that kind of a defense, right? With Cushing, Maualuga, Matthews, Mayava, just go down the list of just the linebackers alone. I think that you need to remember a couple things. I'm with you. I am hyped up. I know this is going to be a very solid USC team. But remember, the USC is playing. You talked about Penn State. How are we going to jump out? Penn State was one of the better teams, if I'm right, Matt, one of the best teams against the run in the country last year. So, Penn State is going to have a solid defense as well. I like the fact, and I think you've touched on it. I'm so tired of saying this over and over again. People for years used to say, man, if Lincoln Riley could just get a decent defense. He has a decent defense, everyone's just missing the fact that USC's offense is going to be this or that because Caleb's not here anymore. Yes, I even think even Miller is going to tell you that, Caleb is just a supernatural guy. But Miller's a great quarterback in his own right. And we saw what he could do in the Holiday Bowl. We know that he can operate in this defense. We're really seeing that this the offensive line did a great job at Holiday Bowl. And if they take that next step, they keep that progression, these young guys filling in and playing as a unit, there's no reason why the offense should take a huge step back in 2024. And so therefore, we know that we're going to have, at the very least, we're going to have a very good defense, and we're going to have a Lincoln Riley offense. So I'm not overly concerned, but I would caution you about downplaying the competition we're going to have in the Big Ten. Matt, your thoughts?
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves here with saying, well, if we go up 21-0 over Penn State, like it's kind of like saying, well, if I find $10 million in unmarked bills right outside my house, let's rein that back in. And now I will say that if USC can get early game leads, it is going to put these Big Ten offenses in a box. So just laying that out, I think that much is true. But USC's offense has to prove that it can be, on par with what we've seen the last few years. And that's why, I'm beginning to really dig into the season, really focus on 2024 USC. And I wrote yesterday at Trojans Wire, obviously the defense has been so awful the past 2 seasons, and it's very natural and reasonable to think, the defense is the key to this season. And that's a reasonable thing to say, but really it's the offensive line. The offensive line is going to be the telltale unit for this team, because if the offensive line functions well, then it's very likely that Miller Moss is going to function well. It's likely that the receivers are going to do well, the running backs are going to do well, and the offense is going to do well. And if the offense does do well, if this looks like a Lincoln Riley offense as we've come to know it, as we've come to expect, this season should go really well. But can the offensive line make it all happen? And if the offensive line does make it happen, well, then I think we're in for a good year. But we need to see it, and we need to see it on the field. And so I just don't want us to get into a mindset of expecting to get the jump on opponents. That's why the LSU game to me is the most important game of the season. Obviously, you have Notre Dame on the schedule. Obviously, you have UCLA on the schedule. Obviously, that Penn State game on October 12th is huge as well. And Michigan in the Big House. But LSU is going to set the whole tone, and LSU is going to determine if the playoff path is going to be easy or hard. The LSU game is going to determine if the percentage chances are really good or remote after week one. And this is what you play for as at a big time college football program. You want that week one test right out of the gate. You want to see what you're made of, test yourself against the best. And really, I have my thoughts about what's going to happen this year at USC, but the LSU game is going to reveal so much. And I don't want to assume that USC is going to have a certain type of team before looking at that LSU game.
Well, and really quickly also, you said the week one test. And the week one test will be that kind of diagnostic. We kind of take a look at where are we? What progress we made? But this is a young team. This is a new defensive scheme. This team this is a brand new quarterback. This team's to get better every game, Matt. So it will. So a lot like we saw in the 2016 team, where it was just kind of a slow start, maybe the wrong quarterback. A lot goes into what happened there. Playing Alabama right out of the gate really kind of knocked the wind out of a lot of the team. But that team did get better every game. And that's happened a lot with USC teams over the years. Even going back to Pete Carroll teams, it just seemed like they got better every single game. This season kind of shapes up. So I agree. It's kind of unfortunate they're starting out with two of probably their most tough, or if not two of the three toughest games they're going to have all season, the first three games of the season. Because I know Miller for sure. I know Miller is going to get better every single time, every snap, but definitely every game from game to game. It's going to see how quickly some of these younger, like Alani Noah got some starts last year, right? But how is he going to play? Mason Murphy and Alani on that side kind of getting to know each other and passing off blocks and stuff. Are they going to be able to gel? The new defense, a lot of studs on the defense, new scheme, but when the bullets are flying, are they gonna be was that is it obnoxious communication? Are they gonna be able to have that on the field communication to work as a unit? Yes, they will, but it takes no one wants to hear this. Fans never want to hear this, but they're not going to walk out and just be nailing. Now, the good thing is that LSU, they have a new defensive coordinator. They're going to have some moving pieces together, but they don't have a lot. It's the same guys though, Matt. It's the same guys, but it's going to be a different scheme. So, I mean, they're going to have some growing pains as well. Obviously, at Michigan, they have a whole brand new coaching staff, so there's going to be a lot going on there. Although they say that moving from Minter, there's not going to be much of a difference. But it's I don't know. I think that there's going to be growing pains there. But this team, to keep in mind, is going to get better every single game. I don't know what you think, Dan.
No, I agree. I didn't mean to say Penn State, but I was just saying in general that on the Big Ten schedule, not including LSU and Notre Dame, but on the Big Ten schedule, because I'm all in. I just think Penn State right now, until the games are played, Penn State and Michigan and maybe Wisconsin are probably the only defenses that could probably, as of right now, is what we've seen that can, do something with the USC. All the other guys, like on the schedule, my thing was like, they're talking about how they love to run the ball. If USC plays Nebraska, I can see them going up 20-0 at the first quarter or something, or by the second quarter on Nebraska. Nebraska can't run the ball after that. So my whole thing was like, if everything shapes up how we think it is, how I think it is, I think they're going to be hot to start the season because they've been hearing all this negativity all year. If they're going up 20-something by halftime, it's 20-2 or 20-3 or 20. I mean, if they're just having big leads on these Big Ten teams, in my opinion, I don't think they'll be able to just continue to just run the ball all day. They're going to have to eventually use their quarterback and throw the ball. And that's what I just think that's why I say USC is going 11-1.
With the players on this team, obviously with Lincoln Riley calling your plays, you're always going to have the potential to score fast, regardless of the competition. I do believe that they're good. They're going to put up points. The defense, we talked about this a little bit. I know I talked to Lynn, Nua, about the fact, about Lynn's system and wanting to and how they want to take over. They want to dictate the game. They want to attack the defense, not sit back and allow the offense, attack the offense and kind of impose their will as a defense. The same thing, like you're saying, can be done with Lincoln Riley on the offense. I mean, that offense. Look at Matt. I can't wait for Matt's remark. I'm just telling you, I really am bullish on our receivers, our running backs, our quarterback. All solid. What's going to come down to, and it seems like this is always the situation at USC, it's going to come down to the line play. And if they have solid line play, if they have just solid, not great, solid line play, Miller's to get the ball out quick. That's the biggest part of his game. He's going to read that defense. He's going to get the ball out fast. But can they give him that time to throw the ball? And that's your kicker. If that's the case, we know the offense is going to roll. These now second-year wide receivers, you guys are just something absolutely special. So don't worry about scoring. Worry about giving Miller enough time. All right, Dan. Well, listen, thank you so much for calling in. Appreciate your call. I think you're right. I think that hopefully the offense is going to push, get the other teams, like you're saying, out of what they want to do. And if you do that, or if you make them take the run game, make them throw the ball, make them one-dimensional, that takes a lot off of your defense as well. So great point. It was the opposite, by the way. It was the opposite last year. The defense was putting so much pressure on Caleb and the offense, it almost seems like they're taking our offense out of this game. So that's a pretty good point you're bringing up. But thank you so much for calling in, Dan. Appreciate you every week.
Cool. Thanks. Fight on.
Fight on, Dan.